Everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today was the first day that I had the Sandbar out on the road, drove her to and from work. So yesterday I went to my local Department of Motor Vehicles here in Richmond. And prior to purchasing this, I did a lot of research on the internet as far as what states allowed K vehicles, what states do not allow them at all, what states have certain restrictions, a bunch of different information. And it's the internet, so when you go to a website, you need to understand that you're just going to have to take what they say with a grain of salt. So I go to other websites, and it pretty much looked like someone just copy and pasted what I read on the last three websites. I didn't find a lot of information that I was confident in. I didn't find a lot of information that was consistent. So I go on a couple forums, minitrucks.com or something, Reddit, the toxic Reddit subreddits and stuff about all these different K trucks and sandbars and that sort of thing. And again, you ask 15 questions and you get 22 different opinions. So not very confident in what I saw there. However, I read several posts where people in Virginia were able to get theirs registered without an issue. Now, several months ago, I ran into a gentleman at a Lowe's over by the airport here in Richmond, and he had antique tags on his little carry. So I said, "Hey, tell me about your K truck." He says, "Well, the only way you can get it registered in Virginia is with antique tags. It has to be at least 25 years old, and there's all sorts of restrictions. Basically, you cannot use it as a daily driver. You have to go to like car shows and transport people to car shows and take parts to car shows. Anyway, very restricted. And in the event that, I don't know, I guess you get pulled over and, you say, hey, I'm just going to the grocery store, then it's a class 4 misdemeanor and DMV can actually pull the registration and you wouldn't be allowed to register that vehicle at all for, I think, like a 5-year period. So you're in timeout for a certain period of time. Well, anyway, back and forth. And then I hear about people that go DMV shopping. Well, I went to this DMV, they said no. I went to the DMV 5 minutes away, and they said yes. So I went yesterday, and I filled out my forms ahead of time for titling and registering this vehicle with the North Carolina title. Mayberry Mini Trucks, when you purchase a vehicle from them, they will provide you a clean North Carolina title. So you're not going into the DMV with a bunch of import-export paperwork that these folks may have never seen before, and that causes them to get all confused, and before you know it, you have no idea what's going on. So it takes, 5, 6, 7 weeks, so you might have your vehicle delivered to you before you get the title. No big deal. So I filled out the paperwork. I even filled out the paperwork for a personalized license plate that I wanted. And I went in just very open-minded, thinking, well, they could say, we're going to give you regular plates, and you can get the personalized vanity plates, or we're going to give you antique plates only, which is kind of okay, because I want to drive it more than the restrictions would allow for antique tags. Or they could say, what the hell are you doing? Get out of my office. We don't register those in Virginia. Well, currently there is no law against registering and titling K trucks, K vehicles in the state of Virginia. There is no law that keeps people from doing that. Somebody on one of the subreddits was, there's this memo about the vehicle isn't, I don't know, federal safety standard NHTSA bunch of crap. But again, I guess the feds can just pass a memo around and not allow things to get titled. I have no idea. Anyway, I'm sure it's just a big scam to begin with, trying to make money for somebody. Regardless, I went in with my paperwork, and she just asked me a few questions, and I provided the answers, and she's like, is it a van? I'm like, yeah. So she checked van. She was very appreciative of the fact that I did my paperwork ahead of time. She's like, do you want personalized plates? I said, yes. This is the one I would like. And I handed her the paper already filled out. She goes, is that available? I said, well, as of 2 hours ago, it was. She said, let me check. And she went ahead and said, yep, hold on a second. So I got my title. I got my kind of cardboard tags that are good for a month, and I'll get my personalized plates in the mail probably in the next week to 10 days. It could take up to 2 weeks, but they're pretty quick about that. And then I'll throw them on there. So very painless. Individual results may vary. And in speaking with two companies, two car dealers that deal with K vehicles, K cars in the state of Virginia, I don't need to name them. It doesn't make any difference what their name is. One is local and one is not. One is here in Richmond. One is about 3.5 hours away. And speaking with them, they said, and one of these places actually sells K cars. They said, you can purchase a K car here, but you cannot get them registered in the state of Virginia. Now, this is a business who's telling people they can't. Kind of weird. And the other place is a Japanese import company, 10 minutes from my house. I emailed them, got on their mailing list, said, hey, do you guys get any K cars every once in a while? And they said, no, we don't deal in 600cc K cars because you cannot get them registered in the state of Virginia. So I don't know, and you would think that people who run businesses that are in the business to sell cars would have the knowledge of what is true and what isn't. Now, if their answer is, no, we don't want to mess with these damn things, we only deal with, direct imports, 6 cylinders, larger vehicles, then that's fine. Just tell me that. But don't tell me, no, we don't deal with K cars because you can't get them registered, because here I am sitting in my registered K car. So, and then the folks 3.5 hours away, really not sure what the deal is with them. But I guess there's a lot of misinformation, but I'm here to tell you that it was painless. It took me 15, 20 minutes and we're done. Other people on some of these forums are having the same kind of luck. Some people, some DV would only issue an antique tag for whatever reason and not issue them the regular passenger car tags or vice versa. So anyway, I got what I needed. Absolutely over the moon. I drove her to work today, and I drove it around the block once when it was delivered with Tony from Mayberry Mini Trucks. And so today I'm sitting on the right side of the vehicle, and I kind of went in it with an open mind. I'm like, all right, when I get out on the road, am I going to think everything's backwards? Am I going to, drive off the road because I think I should be over here and not over there? None of that happened. Absolute piece of cake. I didn't I need to look over here, watch out for the road here. Oh, I'm getting too close to the curb, watch out for the white line. None of that. The only thing I really messed up on was when I went to use my turn signal, I turned my wipers on about 20 times. So the turn signal is over here at my knee next to the door, but over here, it would be that as well. But, I'm thinking it's the same, but it's, it's opposite. So when changing lanes, I let people know I was changing lanes by turning on my wipers. So if they didn't understand what I was trying to do, that's on them, okay? They need to learn how these cars work. But anyway, absolute dream to drive. I'm thinking, oh, it's this little putt-putt car. It's going to go down the road, and, it's going to shimmy all over the place. The alignment on this thing is absolutely fantastic. Get on a little straight stretch of road, take your hands off the steering wheel a little bit, and she just went straight down the road. Again, that's this vehicle. I'm sure there's other vehicles where things are all jacked up and, they're going 100 different directions, but this thing was an absolute dream. It's got very narrow tires, and you can tell. So I reached out to the folks at OK Corral. Okay, that's a Western movie. At the OK Garage in Washington State, and asked about wider tires, not these big monster truck tires. I don't want to put a lift on the van, but I'd like a little bit wider tires, maybe get a little more aggressive tread, just to give it a little character, but I don't want to put a lift. They got back to me within a couple hours and said, hey, on my van, and he's got a sandbar too, he runs, I'm going to mess it up, 165 by 60 by 14s, I think. And not a lot of those on Amazon, not a lot of those on some of your larger nationally brand tire places, but you just got to dig around. So found a couple, need to make sure they're absolutely going to fit. and get some different wheels. These are the stock wheels, alloy. It's a fancy little Subaru hubcap. They're really nice, don't get me wrong. But I think eventually I wanted something a little bit wider to give it a little more stability. Not like I thought, it was going to be like Fred Flintstone, flip over at the drive-in when they put the big Brontosaurus rack of ribs on the side of his car. But I don't know, something I want to try out, but I don't want to do the lift. Went ahead and put some 93 octane in the van on the way home from work, and I got some of this in the is that backwards for you guys? Anyway, the Sta-Bil 360 protection. It's basically the additive that combats the ethanol until I can get across town and bring some jerry cans over and get the ethanol-free 93 octane. An ounce per 5 gallons, so 2 ounce will fill this. We'll fill the 10-gallon tank just fine, and I'll just deal with that here in the next week or two, and then I'll drop the 93 no ethanol, and she'll do just fine. Man, she runs hot. Holy moly. It was 65 degrees when I left work, and I think the fastest I got was about 50 miles an hour most of the way home. Stayed off the interstate, obviously. 45, 50, maybe 55 a couple times, and she was tacking at about 4,200, and engine sounded good. Engine sounded very good. Temperature gauge stayed steady, not doing too crazy. Got home, went in and shut her off, put her in the garage here, and then the fan kicked on for about 5 minutes. The fan turned off, and then the fan turned back on, and it hasn't been on since. Most of your cars will do that. My Jeep will do that. My Buick might do that, I think, but the Jeep does that, especially in the summer when you're running the AC and that sort of thing. But I'll tell you what, she was absolutely a dream to drive. Very, very happy, absolutely over the moon that I purchased this vehicle. Didn't need it, but it was something I wanted. And again, I'm just gonna got the tune-up kit coming. That'll be here Monday, and the plates will be here hopefully next week. State inspection. I have a state inspection appointment Tuesday morning, taking off work to be there first thing in the morning. I'm actually going to sit with it. The guys have been going to for years and years and years. Odds are they may have seen one of these in the past, but maybe not. The only thing that I found out that may not be working is the washer fluid pump. Both reservoirs are full. For the front is under the battery. For the rear is back there under the hatch. I went to hit the little buttons to try to spritz some fluid, and nothing. So I need to try that and hit the button again where it's nice and quiet and see if I can hear the motor turning. That's not going to be a very expensive fix. I priced $10-12 for the pump. I think it's just a matter of trying to get to it. Went ahead and ordered some LED lights, exchanged the bulbs in there. And again, went to OK Garage. I want to say OK Corral. Anyway, so I went to the OK Corral and I watched his videos, and not difficult at all, but I didn't pay close enough attention. I ordered the right type, but they're too long. It's a much longer light. And when I put it into the socket, put the boot back on, got her all taken care of, I went to there's this funky little flap that you put down, and then you put the screws in. It was too deep or too long, and I couldn't close the flap. So I compared it with the one I took out, and it's literally about that much too long. So again, that's on me, my bad. Again, I just got to get used to actually finding the correct part and making sure it's compatible. I probably should have took one of the old ones out, and then when I was at the website, look at the different dimensions, and I would have figured out pretty quick that it wasn't going to work. But they, I can always return them, or I might hang on to them. I might run across someone who needs them locally, and and they can certainly have them. But again, absolutely fantastic. Very, very, very glad I made this purchase. And let's see, I'm supposed to say like and subscribe, hit the notification bell. I think, is that what I'm supposed to say? I don't know, I'm trying to get used to this whole YouTube thing. But anyway, folks, thanks for sticking around and listening to me ramble, and I'll see you in the next video.